Alright, so here's the SRC I've been working on. I did radius the cylinder window. You can see that's pretty nicely done. And this time I used a file compared to a Dremel, because if the gearbox material is really weak, it goes too fast. So this time I went with the file, which came out, I think, a little bit better. Let's see what else. The bushings are being JB welded on the outside. Let that dry, and then I'll just wipe it down to what I need. The reason those are done that way is because the selector plate slides across there. Great thing about that is it's easy to remove the JB weld with just sandpaper going around it, and it's not too difficult. I like doing it on the outside simply because it holds the bushings in there solid. They don't really come out. You can wash the gearbox if you need to, and the bushings will still not come out. And it's not permanent. I mean, you can just Dremel the outside and you can remove your bushing if it's destroyed. Here's the gears to the SRC. Looks pretty good. I like how they're a little thicker. You can see that's a little thicker. That's pretty nice. I don't see any issues with teeth, nothing. Same with the motor. Here's the motor. I put these pieces on it so I don't lose them for now. But you can see how they put that together. It's kind of strange. I don't know if that was just not pushed down all the way on there or what. Alright, plans for this. Well, right now there's a plan to shim this possibly tomorrow blind. Yeah, I'm going to practice doing this, I guess, in my head. I'm not cheating, so the only thing I did, which I will go over in that video, is Dremel off a little bit of an area in the gearbox, and mainly I did that because sometimes the cam right here bumps into that, and I don't want to have to be shimming, and then oh well, I'm going to have to take this apart and Dremel it eventually, and then clean it all back up. So it's better just to get rid of it while you're doing all the Dremeling. I put a hole in the back of the gearbox, and I also did Dremel a little bit and sanded on this so it sits more flushly to the gearbox. I also cut a window right here and right there. Both sides aren't necessary, but just for the heck of it, it's a little bit easier for me to see everything. Since I'll be shimming this blind first tomorrow with my friend, what I'm going to do is basically see if I can succeed. If I can't, to the nearest 0.1 millimeter, I guess I just fail, and then check it with eyesight to see how badly I fail. Trying to base it off my skills of so much shimming that I've done. Also, here is some other parts of the XM8. This is almost like a 15-tooth SHS. Seems like it is. I thought this was cracked. You can kind of see that right there, but it's not. I went and checked it just now. There was a lot of red Loctite inside. You can see it on here, and the piston head divides in half, which is really strange. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Let's see, also, what was I going to say? Oh, here's the spring guide. No bearings, and it's a crappy plastic. And then there's no bearings in here, so the spring is kind of just lucky if it rotates. I've had some stock guns that, sometimes this goes okay and then sometimes it doesn't. The spring will start to bend, and it doesn't look like it's bending yet, but I will say that I've had guns start bending, so there needs to be, actually, I don't know if you can tell, this actually goes off at an angle. Try to put it on here. Anyways, there should be a cutoff issue here with this edge and with the arm here, which normally I've seen in version 3 quite often now. It just doesn't grab the arm right here. It's the arm right here, excuse me. It's hard to see through the camera. So the spacing is incorrect inside and not cutting off on semis from what I'm told. I'll have to check that when the JB weld is dry. What else to talk about? This is very interesting. Down the magwell, this feeding hole is not exactly centered to the magwell hole. It's plastic. So what happens is the BB hits this lip right here, and I might file that at an angle, maybe like this, so that when the BB hits it, it just slides in a little easier. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to see if the hop is just not adjusting. The hop chamber is just not adjusting properly. So here's some interesting things. First being that the C-clip actually has a lock like a Prometheus, which is pretty nice, but this is kind of a fail. They don't put a thing down the middle. That's why the barrel twisted and was easy to move back and forth. There's nothing there to hold the barrel. Interesting thing here is there's a lock, it seems like, on the barrel right here. And this feels plasticky. I'm really sorry to say, but I think it is plastic. So this had a metal nub. It's one piece. Look at this. Yeah. It's a one piece. I think that's interesting. That is pretty interesting. Look at the shape of it. Okay, so because that's metal and it's a hard pushing against soft, this is really concaved in. I don't know how well I can show this, but you can feel how badly the rubber has concaved in. See if I can. I'm not going to push my finger over it. I'm just trying to find it so I can show you on camera. And it's kind of hard to see because it's black, but you should see some concaveness right here. And that's because it's been pressed by this. I have tested before something hard like this. It's not the way to go to apply hop. And the reason is because it's a hard material in the BB. You know, it slings across it, and if it can hit into this that has a little bit of that pushed in the window, it will really affect your accuracy and your consistency on a hop. So for hard things like this, this never has worked for me. But I found this very interesting because it's the first time I've ever seen anything like this. And what's kind of cool about it is these are usually plastic, and the ends right here that connect to this. This is heavy as heck. This is probably as heavy as I want to say one of the gearbox shells. I mean, it's heavy. Anyways, so this goes in there. This goes in the window here. You can see it right there. Goes down in there. This goes on it. You just turn it to apply hop. As you turn it, there's edging right here that pushes it down or up. And at the end, it stops. It kind of locks, and you can go the other way. If this gets cut down too much at the lip right here, then you can just keep turning this thing, and you have too much hop, but then all of a sudden you have no hop because of that. So it's kind of nice to see metal, but it's kind of interesting that, you know, it's like that. Okay, so what else can I say here? Hop-up chamber doesn't look too bad. I've heard some bad things about this, but I haven't seen really. I mean, I'd rather have metal than plastic. Like the G36 I was working on for the JG, it was just purely no thickness, so it just, it was falling apart. But that's solid, pretty solid stuff here. So you can maybe modify this now to your advantage. Here I could swear it looks like a lock. I don't know how well you can see that, but it doesn't help that you can twist the barrel in the hop up. That's another thing. It twisted and left it on one side, so it's probably angled this a little bit and messed with. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this right off. And the window is pretty similar to a Prometheus. Nice straight. I think the Mad Bulls are kind of similar to this. Except, there's one thing. This is similar to a Prometheus window, but it's freaking huge. Yeah, there's a lot of window depth. Yeah, that is not how Prometheus is. When I looked over the camera, that's huge. So, if you were to do an R-hop and drop this in here for a Prometheus barrel, it would just fall right through, sink down. So what does this lock do here? I'm not really sure what it's for. Maybe somehow to lock itself in there so this can't move with this. However, even though this thing just moves out easily, and there's no way to grab the barrel straight. Is there even a line here? There is a line there. Goes straight down here, but it doesn't matter because this doesn't have anything to grab by. So it's kind of a no-no. You failed. You could have easily, if they had put something right there, would have held the barrel forward in a spot, and that would have been really good. Yeah, I'm surprised by that cutout right there. Okay, what else to say here? Let's check the bucking. Bucking's really, really soft. Let's see if I can find the inside here. Looks like there's a tear in the nub. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see that. I mean, to my eye, I can see it, but I don't know how well you can see that on camera. I'm just checking again for myself. Yeah, there's a little bit of tearing on the middle of it, so that's going to affect accuracy for sure. I think that's all else to say. The selector plate's bending a little bit upwards, and the reason is because the way it fits on here is not completely straight. I think that's pretty much all that I can say. Everything else seems pretty good. On the top of the plate it does say G36. And this is not a G36. It's designed like a G36. Okay, I'll catch you later.